Hey guys, it's Miss Wynn. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a couple things I want you to really look at. Just prepare for your next exam that's coming up. So the specific questions that I picked out for you will be something you will see on your test that's very, very similar. So let's go ahead and do number 4 together. So on number 4, it says John wants to go out for a meal. He knows he wants to eat burgers and fries. He knows that he wants to buy exactly 3 items. A burger costs $2.50, and an order of fries costs $1.25. He spends the same amount of money on burgers and fries. So let's go ahead. The first thing you always do is define your variables. In this case, it looks like something about burgers and something about fries. So that looks like that is what my variables are going to be. However, it's important to ask yourself, what's something that I do know about burgers and fries? I know that burgers is $2.50 and I know that fries is $1.25. Your variables are things that you don't know. Something I don't know about burgers and fries is how many burgers he bought. And something I also don't know is the number of fries that he bought. Okay, so after you define your variables, let's go ahead and write our equations. There are 2 equations. So let's go ahead and write my first equation. My first equation is I know that he buys exactly 3 items. Okay. And I know that the 3 items, he is buying burgers and fries. Do we know how many? We don't. Let's go ahead and say that his 3 items, he's buying a number of burgers, and it's also coming from the number of fries that he buys. How many of each, we're not sure, but we did specify that number of burgers is X and number of fries is Y. So this is your first equation, 3 equals X plus Y. Your second equation is the part that says he spends the same amount of money on burgers and fries. So we do know how much money was each burger, and we also know how much money was each fry. So cost of burger is the same as cost of fries. So how much he spent on burgers is the same amount that he spent on fries. So like what we were just saying earlier, we know that each burger is $2.50. Let me go ahead and change that. We know it's $2.50. We don't know how much he bought, so it's X. We know how much each fry was, and that was $1.25, but we do not know how many fries he bought. So that is my second equation. So what you're going to do, whenever you see 2 equations with 2 variables, on your test, you always go straight to Desmos. So go ahead and pull out Desmos, type it in your calculator. I went ahead and already put it in the calculator for you guys just to save time. So where they intersect is where your answers are, 1, 2. However, it is important that you're reading your problem. It says how many burgers did he buy? Remember, burgers we said was X, and 1 is in my X value, so he only bought 1 burger. And that's my answer. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next problem. Let's flip the page and let's do number 7. On number 7, it's asking for the maximum possible value for B. Just keep in mind your B is in your Y value spot. Okay? If you forget what maximum is, this is our vocab. It's important that you know maximum is my highest point. So just like what I was saying earlier, if you ever see 2 equations on your test with 2 variables, you're going to go straight to Desmos. So let me go ahead and pull out Desmos. I've already graphed them, so zoom in and out until you see something that looks just like this. So your solution set is where your blue part and the red part is highlighted, but it's overlapping. So it's in that weird triangle looking thing area. It's where that is. That's all your solution set. But it's asking for the maximum and the highest point. So here's your maximum point where the blue and red intersects. And that is at negative 110 and negative 700. Okay, so this is my maximum point. However, remember, it's asking for the maximum of B, which is my Y value. And negative 700 is my Y value, so really my answer is negative 700. Okay. Let's go ahead and do number 11. A food stand sells various types of food. Steak kebabs cost $3, popcorn chicken costs $5, and bacon grilled cheese costs $8. One day, the food stand sold 6 times as many steak kebabs as bacon grilled cheese. The food stand sold 5,800 in one day. The popcorn chicken sold 4 times as many as bacon grilled cheese. Which of the following would be incorrect when writing a system equations to determine bacon grilled cheese, steak kebabs, and popcorn chicken? It looks like they've already defined our variables. So let's go ahead and start writing our first equation. Our first equation, the food stand sold and made $5,800 in one day. So the food stand sold steak kebabs, which was $3 each. They also sold popcorn chicken, which was $5 each. They also sold bacon grilled cheese, which was $8 each. Our second equation is from the 6 times as many steak kebabs as bacon grilled cheese. So steak kebab is 6 times as bacon grilled cheese. Third equation. The popcorn chicken sold 4 times as many as bacon grilled cheese. So popcorn chicken is 4 times as many as bacon grilled cheese. So look at our answer choices. A, B, and C matches the 3 equations that we have already written. Remember, we're looking for something that's incorrect. D is incorrect. Let's go ahead and look at number 13. I've already started setting it up. So we are trying to find what x equals, what y equals, and what z equals. What you're going to do is you're always aiming to eliminate z, the variable z, when you see 3 equations and 3 variables. So the first step is always take the first equation and the second equation. Let's go ahead and rewrite it. My first equation is negative 3x plus 10y minus 7z equals 9. Taking my second equation, negative 3x plus 5y minus 7z. Then we're going to eliminate z. So first step before you eliminate z is you are going to multiply the top equation by negative 1. The reason why you're doing this is the opposite of negative 7 is positive 7, and so that will eliminate z. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you multiply negative 1 times negative 3x, you get positive 3x. When you multiply negative 1 times positive 10, you get negative 10y. When you multiply negative 1 times negative 7, you get positive 7z. Last but not least, negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Your second equation, you are not going to touch it. So let me go ahead and rewrite my second equation. Now, your z is opposites of each other, so it will be able to be eliminated. So now you're going to add vertically down. So 3x minus 3x is 0x. You do not have to write anything because it equals to 0. Negative 10y plus 5y is negative 5y. 7z minus 7z is 0z, so you do not have to write anything. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0, so you put 0. Last but not least, let's go ahead and solve for y. So you're going to divide both sides by negative 5, and y equals 0. Okay, so we figured out what y is. Let's go ahead and figure out what, let's go ahead and eliminate equation 2 and equation 3. So when you're doing elimination, eliminate 1 and 2, and then eliminate 2 and 3. So let's go ahead and rewrite my second equation. (3x plus 9y plus 10z). Okay. So one thing to point out, we already know what y equals, right? So let's go ahead and replace our y's in our second and third equation with 0. This makes it a lot easier to look at. So it also looks like instead of eliminating any variables, it looks like x already eliminates itself. So that becomes 0. And then 5 times 0 is 0, 9 times 0 is 0, so 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 7 plus 10. That gives me 3z. 9 plus 0 is 9. To solve for z, let's go ahead and divide by 3, and z equals 3. Okay, so now we know what y equals, we know what z equals. Let's figure out what x equals. So my third step is to substitute y equals 0 and z when it equals 3. So using my first equation to substitute, my first equation was negative 3x plus 10y minus 7z equals 9. Let's go ahead and substitute everything that we already know. We know y and we know z. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. Y is 0. We know that z is 3. So let's go ahead and solve for x. We know that 10 times 0 is 0. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Okay, so you are left with this. Now let's go ahead and add 21 to both sides. Negative 3x equals 30. Last but not least, we're going to divide negative 3 on both sides to solve for x, and x equals negative 10. This is how you solve for x, y, and z. So your answer is negative 10, 0, and 3.